Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Thursday the 6th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning, decent time frame, got up and around, got the dogs outside, got in the hot tub for a little bit, wife got up and around, heading off to work, so got back in, got the dogs separated out, got them fed, and it's funny, one of the dogs I'm watching, he's decided he doesn't want to eat his breakfast in the morning. Don't know what's up with him. The owner said he does that to him sometimes as well. And then I'll offer it to him midday, and sometimes the one thin, but he'll eat dinner and he'll usually eat twice as much at dinner. So I figure it's the same thing. It doesn't really matter. So, but yeah, it all works out. It's all good in the long run. So went ahead, had a couple things there. It worked out fine, got them fed. Had a couple other things in the house to get done. Nothing too major, simple little things. Ended up having to go do a little run around. My mom asked me to go get some stuff for her, so I was like, okay. Wanted some Crunch and Munch toffee flavored stuff, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll go get that. And I needed to go pick up a dog later today, so I figured I'd tie them in together at the same time, and it would all work out without any issue there. So went ahead, and also I checked to see where sodas were on sale, because I know that somebody had them on sale last week. I can't remember when the thing started up again or not, whatever. So I was like, cool, no big deal. Found out that Dollar General had them for 3 for $12, and they usually have the toffee flavored Crunch and Munch. So she asked me to pick her up some. I said, not an issue. So went ahead, went and got my run in early, got that done, and got back to the house. Got showered, got cleaned up, and that. Head over to pick the new dog up, which I've watched her before, but she's never been around with these dogs, so we'll see how well that goes. And she's a little bit intense at times, especially when she first meets new dogs, so I wanted to have my run and stuff taken care of beforehand. So went ahead and also reached out to one of my clients that has it's supposed to be a single overnight stay, according to originally planned, turned into an 11-night stay, because apparently I made a typo in the plans that I said, well, I need to do a test run with your dog prior to watching the dog for 11 days that I've never seen before. So then they hadn't reached out. They said they'd do it, they'd book it. I reached back out to them like, hey, if you still want to do this, I need you to get either Friday night or Saturday night booked, because they're leaving on Tuesday. It's like, it's coming up like real quick, like, so. And if I say no, if one, they don't do the single overnight to test run it, then I'm definitely not watching the dog for 11 days. And two, if the test run for the overnight goes poorly, I'm definitely not watching the dog for 11 days. And you're going to struggle in that day or two to find somebody else to watch your dog, and may end up costing your trip, which is not my fault, because I tried to watch your dog, last week, earlier in the week this week kind of thing, and you put it off. So not my problem. But went ahead, reached out to them again, and they booked for Saturday. So they were going to drop the dog off about 3 o'clock on Saturday, I believe they said, and then pick it up about noon on Sunday. So we'll see how that breaks down. Should be good. So went ahead, hopped in the truck. It's that weird. I need to go pick up the dog about 1, and it's out north of New Smyrna, south of Port Orange. And I'm like, no big deal. I'll head out that way. But I don't know how long it's going to take me. If I go to the very first Dollar General and they have exactly what I need, I will be there way early. But if I have to go to all the Dollar Generals, then I'm going to be late, because that whole thing. So I ended up going to 4 Dollar Generals, which is, first off, there should not be that many Dollar Generals within my range that I can get to between here and there. Like, it's less than a 30-minute drive, and I hit 4 Dollar Generals. So be a little bit more nice. I had to kind of went out of the way to get to the $1 Dollar General, but still not the thing. Went to the first one, no sodas, no toffees. I'm like, okay. Went to the second one, no sodas, 3 toffees, and the Crunch and Munch. I'm like, okay. Actually, I take it back. The first one had 1 soda 6-pack in stock, but they wouldn't sell it to me at the cheaper price, because I had to buy at least 3 to get the discount, but you don't have 3, so what the like, it makes no sense. Also, I asked when they would expect more. He goes, well, we hope on this delivery, but it's usually every other week, and I don't know if we got it last week or not. I'm like, okay. Then I said, so when is this week's delivery? And he goes, well, it changes all the time. I don't really know. And I'm like, no, it don't. It can't be that way, but whatever. So there's no way you're running a successful business that you don't know when any delivery is. You personally don't know, and you're too lazy to go ask somebody else. So went to the third one, ended up finding another toffee. Crunch and Munch, which is great, and ended up at the fourth store. Found the first one. I found the sodas. So I got my sodas. Asked the guy, "Hey, you have one out here? Do you have any more in the back?" He goes, "I don't think so." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Well, can you check for me? Because this is the fourth store I've been to." And he goes, "Well, we put everything out when we get it." I'm like, "Well, not always the case, but I understand soda is not your department. Could you ask somebody else that is in the soda department more?" And he's like, "Well, begrudgingly went over and asked somebody else." And they go, "Yeah, there should be some right over here." Walked over and there was none. He goes, "Oh," he goes, "There's probably more in the back." I'm like, "Huh, that guy just said you guys never did that." And he goes, "Yeah, we do it all the time." So I go back there and brought me out a giant cart full of it. Took what I wanted. I got my 9 6-packs and wrapped up. You had to do at least 3 per discount. So that was that weird thing of, well, okay, cool. Kind of wanted more than I didn't really want. I would have taken like 7, but I didn't need 9. But it was cheap enough. I got it through there, so worked out. So I grabbed my 9 sodas and my 1 more Crunch and Munch and hit the road. So all worked out there. From there, headed on out to pick up the dog. Ended up there a little bit on the early side because it was a little quicker than I thought it was going to be. But drove around the neighborhood, out in the little housing complex thing. It's where my gym was that I had when I was traveling down here. When my dog and I were traveling in my van, and they had a 24-hour fitness that was part of my program that had a shower there. So I would often park out there on the side of the road. I would then go for my run, and then I would grab a shower after the run. So leave my dog in the van while I shower, which is always a little bit iffy, but they were still building a lot of that community, and it was kind of a dead end area over by the construction zone spot that nobody seemed to mess with. The highfalutin fancy people down there didn't seem to care because they didn't go that way that much. So I would leave my dog in the van with the air conditioner running, and if it was nice and cool out, I'd leave the fans on top, whatever, lock it all up with notes saying, "Hey, air conditioned, heated, whatever, monitored, yada yada, don't break the window, call this number." Then I quickly rush into the gym. I would grab myself basically a shower. Sometimes, depending on how looked at me weird and whatnot, I would pretend to work out a little bit on some equipment, and then grab a shower and then leave, because basically that's all I had the membership for was the showers around the country. So I would do that. Then I would go hang out the rest of the day, find some place to spend the evening, and then often come back to that same spot again, because I was in this area quite a bit, because this is where I end up settling down at. But before I kind of end up with a more permanent place, I showered in that one a lot, but I couldn't go there day after day after day because they would eventually complain, and if they complain, they could pull my membership, which is dumb, because why are you going to be mad at me? If I work out and shower, that's perfectly fine, but if I was going there and shower and leave, that's not. So, and I wouldn't even mind working on your equipment, except I was afraid one of the snotty people would break the windows out of my van for leaving my dog in the van, even though he's got air conditioning, he's got fans, he's got whatever the hell is needed, but kind of is what it is. So, but yeah, I would kind of wander around that area a little bit because I hadn't been out there for a while, and checked it out. I was waiting to kill some time. Went and picked the dog up, got the dog, we hit it back. She's a little bit of a pain in the butt, which in the truck she gets super hyper, but overall did pretty good. From there, got back to the house, got the rest of the, I asked my mom to call her and say, "Hey, can you put the dogs outside for me?" So I could bring her in the house and then rotate them out. So in the process, stuck her in the bedroom, brought their dogs inside, let her have the run of the yard a little bit, introduced the dogs to her, introduced the hyper dog to her to begin with, because I was afraid the old dog would get run over if the play got a little too excitable. So went good. She had a little bit of issue, a little bit aggressive, got yelled at, settled down again, and it was all good. Went ahead from there, was able to let their dog out, and we chilled out for the rest of the day. Just being pretty lazy for the best part, letting them play a lot, keeping an eye on them and stuff, letting the old dog back inside so she wasn't feeling overwhelmed by their play, and also overheating because it was hot. So got a little bit of yard work done, not too much, and then proceeded to get a couple of little things taken care of. And then wife, we decided to have, I thought we were gonna have leftovers for the biscuit and gravy. She decided she didn't want that, and my mom decided to make a ham wrapped around chicken and spinach and whatnot recipe I found online, and she went ahead and cooked it up and wife got home from work, talked to her dad, whatever, came over, and as we were chatting right there before dinner wasn't quite done yet, Mom basically goes, well, since I got you both here, before you run off, I gotta tell you something. I'm like, okay. So she dropped the ball on us that she's moving back to Iowa, should have a I don't know, rent assistance, what do you want to call it, one of the cheaper places the government helps pay for to move into on August 1st. So I don't know if that's actually gonna happen or not, because they're, I guess, remodeling them or something, so who knows how long it takes. But that was the plan. She told me to, then she started crying. She gave my wife a hug, and I gave her a hug, and basically kind of, I don't know, whatever the hell happened there, and then told me I needed to call around to find out about getting like a moving company and or like a pod or a U-Haul or whatever I gotta do. So I proceeded to start looking into that stuff, and holy crap, man, it's $4,000 or $5,000 minimum. The pod was gonna be $4,000, basically $3,970. So $4,000. I assume there's tax and fees in there that aren't included, but they wouldn't even deliver it to the town she's moving to. They were gonna drop it off 2 hours away at their main station. So she'd have to either get friends and family or whatever, or hire professional movers, or rent a U-Haul truck to drive it the 200 miles, you know, not 200 miles, sorry, 2 hours, so 100 miles back home. And if it's a regular pickup truck, it can't rain, or you run all your shit, whatever. That takes 2 or 3 trips, maybe 4 trips. We run a U-Haul truck here, hundreds of dollars in debt also, and she won't drive a U-Haul truck, so she got to hire somebody to drive the truck, which I'm not sure where that legality falls into, because you're now paying somebody to drive a truck that, I don't know if that becomes a commercial license, it becomes a weird thing, so who the hell knows. And I don't know if she not get friends with any like enclosed trailers and shit up there, so I was like, oh, who knows. So looked into that a little bit. I was like, $4,000 seems like a shit ton of money. So I went ahead and looked at U-Haul, but by the time you paid the U-Haul fees, which is roughly $1 a mile, I'm gonna figure 2,500 miles round trip, probably a little more, maybe $3,000, but let's just say 2,500. So 2,500 plus the fuels and all kind of shit, plus any tolls and stuff and whatnot. It's going to be, plus the rental fee, you're looking at about $4,000 again, maybe $5,000 with the pod one. So yeah, and then the pod one, it gets dropped off, but you got to find somebody to drive it back and forth to her and bring on a truck. Where at least the U-Haul, it'd be me driving it up there, but that's 2 days on the road, which I assume, because U-Haul truck I can't drive nearly as comfortably as I would a regular, and I don't even have cruise control, because that's a big deal, has no cruise control, or that's not going to work. So went ahead, so you figure at least 2 days, 1 night in a hotel, both directions driving that shitty truck. And unfortunately, because she didn't talk to us about any of this, I have ordered a cow to be butchered, and I'm picking up September 11th, which I had to talk to me like, hey, let's try and schedule something for mid-September or early September, and I'll use that as an excuse to drive your shit up there. I'll either buy a van or whatever, not buy a van, buy a trailer or whatever, and then go up there and take your shit. But nope, not the case. So who knows? It is what it is. But it's that whole lack of communication thing of just, this is what I've decided to do and move on. Instead, it's because the way I looked at her when she'd fallen and broke her shoulder, and the look on my face when she was on the floor, she's never gonna, have that happen again. Apparently I looked at her like an asshole. I don't know. I have no idea what the hell she's talking about. So she decided to get a place and move. So it is what it is, which I think is probably for the better for our relationship, because it's one of those things, but not what I was expecting to have dumped on us right before dinner. So I told my wife after I asked her, I'm like, so I handled that wrong, right? Like, you can tell me, like, whatever kind of shit. Like, I'm assuming I didn't do whatever it was right, so she goes, well, that's up to you. Everybody gets handled their own way. So yeah, there's that fun. So now I get to figure out if I can even, I don't know, so I'm canceling work and stuff. I got to turn down clients so I can drive it back. So I'm losing that. I don't know, it just kind of is what it is. So I was kind of way up in my head. So I contacted my aunt, her sister, my mom's sister, and talked to her kind of about like, hey, when's the cow ready? All that kind of stuff. So I wasn't sure when it was. It turned out to be September 11th. So went ahead and got that whole part taken care of. But she said they might be able to move my cow butchering up. But if I do that, I probably won't get it corn fed at the end. And I like to feed it on corn, save me a couple dollars by not feeding it on corn. But that's where a lot of good flavor comes from, is finishing on corn. Is you get a lot of that fattier flavor in that meat. So why would I pay thousands of dollars for a bunch of meat that isn't as absolutely tasty as I can possibly get it. So who knows? It's just, I don't know. The big thing I think that kicks me in the teeth is that why not talk to me about it? Why not have a discussion with me? Why not talk about any of this stuff so we can make plans and kind of figure it out? But nope, just make a decision and do what's best for you and give a shit less than anybody else. So that's how life goes down. But anyway, that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.